Greetings, my name is Siobhan, and I am an Illumin Blu-ray Twin Flame Source Angelic. I am also a Reiki healer, as well as intuitive and angelic universal regression alchemy healer. So I do want to share, I've shared it a little bit as to how I was guided to Aura as my preferred technique. I will explain why and how I received the guidance. However, I want to start off with a different message about soul tribes and the divine feminine and the need to come together. And of course, we're going to do this through healing. So I do want to read some portions from an Aura regression session. And before I do that, I do want to pull one card for today's discussion or teaching, today's message. So which card is going to assist us? And I'm pulling from the crystal deck here, as healing is of the highest importance as far as ascension and awakening. And I got the lovely garnet. So it is up to you. You are always welcome to add the garnet etherically. Probably to your heart chakra, even your pineal will be fine. Or you can leave it up to your higher self to place it where it is best served or its purpose for you. So the garnet is a stone of passion. Is a rejuvenating stone, believed to protect against evil and terrifying dreams and to attract love. You are a passionate soul with a courageous heart. Be confident and constant. Let go of your inner demons, taboos, inhibitions, and fantasies. Recognize self-sabotage and expand your awareness into all that you can be. Virtue matters to you. You are capable of great devotion to a cause or a relationship and have a strong survival instinct. So to me, this is sounding like this garnet will aid in healing your shadow side, your ego self or negative ego aspect, any self-sabotaging or limiting beliefs. So the soul path is expressing your soul's passion, remembering who you are, and even getting onto your highest timeline, and just being at your greatest potential. So I do want to read. Hold on here, let me get it pulled up. Sorry about that. So these are from an Aura session. And the channeling was of Archangel Ariel, and she was speaking on the importance of soul tribes and feminine groups. Okay, so the questioner. Yes, we have been taught talking about separation amongst females. We have been taught this from the minute we are born. Taught to be envious, jealous, especially as females. And this is Archangel Ariel's response. Oh yes, but that's lowering the frequency because you are all carriers. The female are carriers of the divine feminine, whether they wish it or not. They have that responsibility to anchor her energy into the earth. Yes, and help each other to do that. Questioner, do you have a message for the divine feminine since you are Archangel Ariel? Response, just to work together, build bridges together so that all of you can cross bridges together and the masculine can rise up. The masculine cannot rise up if the feminine is feuding. You are space holders, and being space holders, you have to work together. There is no separation. Divine feminine, you are the carriers. Embody that. Heal the wounds of separation, the wounds of abandonment, The wounds are ancestral wounds, so that all can stand together as sisters. Questioner, beautiful. Thank you. You have brought tears to my eyes. Thank you for your words. You mentioned sisterhoods as important. Do you mean women joining together and rising together? Is that what you mean by that? Archangel Ariel. Like a group, say, forming, not a ritual but similar, groups of women listening to each other without judgment, so that others can feel safe to open up and rise up and start reclaiming their sovereignty. Sovereignty is what we are here to remember. So when they are tearing somebody down, it means you are not remembering you are a sovereign being. And every soul is a sovereign being. So when you rise and every person remembers that they are sovereign, then they can't be pulling others down. And if they do, then they will correct themselves very fast, because they know that this is a sovereign journey where you walk individually to make the collective stronger. We understand it's tough, but we all knew it was going to be tough. But it's the sisterhoods, groups of women starting a business, starting a meditation group, creating or whatever it is, praying, singing, chanting, without any agenda, just to raise the frequency of each other, holding space for each other to be vulnerable. Hold space for each other to break down, break your own barriers, break your own fear, collapse the system within yourself, and then you will collapse the system outside yourself. But somebody is held in that safe space. It's okay for them to know that they can cry, they can be sad. So the next question, or Archangel Ariel says, the phoenix will never rise if there is no chaos, never. Chaos brings people to their heart. It opens their heart. People work together. They help each other. It's in chaos. It's in darkness that we find our strength. Yes. Ariel. So we can't shun our shadow. Our shadow is the feminine. The shadow is the feminine. You can't bypass the feminine. With positivity, she's fire at the moment. She is the element of fire at the moment. She's coming strong as fire. Questioner, the phoenix? Ariel, yes. She's rising with fire. It's unbelievable. Her strength, the ambers, it's beautiful and destructive at the same time. Yes, she's speaking from the flames at this time. It's the flames inside, the confusion, the depression, flames inside that burn. Flames inside that people are trying to put out. They're trying to put them out. You can't put out those flames. You have to let them burn. What no longer serves you has to be transmuted by this fire. You can't get away. You can't run from the fire. It's too powerful. It's not outside there. It's not in Hawaii. Anywhere else it's burning. It's not there. It's inside every single heart. It's the fire. It's all flames. It's just like the sun. It's just fire. And that's why the sun is so active right now, releasing all this plasma. It's all fire. The solar rays, it's all fire. All of them. Gamma rays, all of them. It's just a different form of fire. Questioner, is it trying to transmute the people on earth? Is that what is going on? Ariel, yes. The hearts, as I said, the forgetfulness, the programming, the fear, their darkness, it is time for fire. That's the closest I can find in your language. So we are all just transmuting ourselves, transmuting the collective, transmuting the universe, the multiverses. Yes, It's beautiful, the fire. It's like a volcano. Afterwards, the land is very fertile after a volcano. That's the same story. After the fire, it has transmuted everything. Then people remember, they become fertile again, so to speak. They remember who they are. So it's just fire. There's nothing to fear. It's just transmutation by fire. You ask, everybody asks, when is it coming? When is the event? When is this? It's all fire. It's all an internal fire that you burn so bright. Yes, it's burning the density. It's too dense for any other element. So yes, it's too dense. Everybody is doing their best. This is why the sisterhood, as I was talking, it's holding that flame within the group, lighting it and making it stronger. It cannot be put out. Beautiful words. So basically, we've been receiving messages. Many of us are aware that the soul tribes, the female groups, are being brought together. In the last reading I just did a week ago, I had made a comment saying that the soul tribes are even harder to keep together than twin flame relationships. However, with ascension, with unity, because you are uniting, you are healing the different elements within yourself. We all mirror each other, but nothing like a twin flame relationship, of course. But we all mirror each other on some aspect. So if and when those involved in any type of group, in a collective, and in humanity, if you are not healing, if you are not coming into your heart chakra, healing your heart chakra and using and developing and mastering heart love discernment, it will still present as chaos and separation. And that is what happens in twin flame relationships as well. Naturally, without any distraction, illusion, dense energy, the matrix, without any of the interference, the chaos, the confusion, twin flames would naturally unite and be drawn to each other. It happens naturally. It is only when there are still elements of healing necessary when these relationships don't come together. And that is generally speaking. Of course, with every situation, there is a unique timeline, unique situations, and not all twins incarnate together in the first place. Sometimes if they don't incarnate, then they're definitely your spirit guide and they stayed in spirit form. So that's why it's so important to develop that clear, consistent communication with your own higher self and oversoul, with your own spirit guides, because they know your plan. And that is how we set it up. We knew that when we incarnated, we would go through the veil of amnesia. It is all a process. And the process is one of trust. This is one of the biggest elements of embodying the high priestess archetype. Are you able to trust your higher self, your oversoul, and spirit guides? Do you trust that when you receive a message that you are able to discern using love, using a healed heart chakra, understanding this is of light, this is not? If there is interference present, that is not from your higher self. Because if it's loving, it's from your higher self, period. All messages from your higher self and oversoul spirit guides are always loving and motivating and providing insight to make you stronger, because this is about your spiritual growth. Have you mastered the art of discernment? And then, as I said, to embody the archetype as the high priestess, are you able to receive messages knowing and fully trusting that when you receive messages from your higher self, regardless of what the advice is, what the message is, knowing that they can see the whole picture. They are fully aware of all of your incarnations. They know who you are. They did not forget. And they're holding that space for you as you grow, as you ascend, as you remember more, as you embody more energy. And they are reminding you what it is that you wanted to do, One of the things that I would hear often on my spiritual, path or journey is like the fear. There was some sort of fear, all fear is programming anyway, but some sort of fear, like being afraid to do what God actually asked you to do once you hear your mission or once you are called. And it's nothing but fear programming, because God or source or your spirit guides aren't making you do things. They are reminding you what it is that you wanted to do, what you decided to do, what your purpose was. You asked them to remind you. That's how we set it up. And they will never push you against your free will. However, do understand, free will is the opportunity spectrum to walk in as much light and remembrance as you want and as little as you want. As much freedom and guidance as you are open to and as little as you want to block out. Like, it's just a spectrum. More light, less light. That's it. That's what free will is. And to be honest with you, if you're not walking in the light, or if you're still in chaos and confusion, it's not totally like someone making a free will choice to not do something or to hurt someone. It's more out of an unhealed heart, out of trauma, out of confusion, out of interference, sometimes out of possession. So these are things you want to heal so that you can allow your heart guidance to come forward fully, freely, and free of interference. So, what I would like to share. So, I do want to speak clearly about receiving guidance from Dolores Cannon and how I was guided to Angelic Universal Regression Alchemy as my chosen healing modality. So yes, I had learned, I've been a Reiki healer for 4 years now. Very good with Reiki, but I was feeling being drawn. I knew I wanted to learn something more, something different, something to add, because it's always an addition. So basically one day, I was just pretty much I set the intention to be open to what it is that I would learn next. So one day I was doing a Reiki session, and in the middle of the Reiki session, Dolores came in on my Reiki session. And so prior to the session, of course, obviously Dolores had been guiding me to watch her videos so I could at least be familiar with who she is, or remember. It's all remembering. We know each other and have known each other energetically for a very long time, definitely prior to this incarnation. So basically during my Reiki session, she made her presence known and asked me if I would be open to instantaneous healing and allowing the higher dimensional beings and angelics to assist me in healing. And I said, of course, absolutely. So, finished up that Reiki session, which was a beautiful Reiki session. And even that individual did move forward to have an aura session with me, so that was beautiful. Amazing results there. I did share one of her aura sessions as well. And that's one of the beautiful things about aura sessions and healing in general. Like, when you are healing yourself, you are benefiting so many, not just yourself, but your bloodline, your children, your bloodline 7 generations back and 7 generations forward, because we are multi-dimensional beings, and also the collective humanity, and definitely your twin soul, your twin flame. So basically, yes, so after that session, I started to receive additional information. I was informed that Dolores is definitely one of my spirit guides, part of my spirit guide team. I kept feeling what I was receiving from them was to learn. Well, I knew that Dolores developed QHHT, so I kept feeling, which QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis therapy. So I kept feeling QHHT and star shamanism. That's how I was perceiving it or receiving the message. So shortly after that, I have been guided to a few different sessions online, and one of them included Aurora with Rising Phoenix Aurora. I listened to a session of hers, and I kept receiving information. I started looking up, QHHT in classes. And then one day I was watching, looking at the videos, because I tend to receive guidance. I prefer to receive guidance about what videos to watch because there's so much information. And I just prefer to watch, what's best for me or what's in my highest benefit and of the greatest truth. And what's going to help me on my purpose and my mission. So basically, I was guided to another one of Aurora's, and this one was a reading. It was a reading where she was explaining her angelic universal regression alchemy technique. And she was also giving examples on how this is different than QHHT and how it's like an expanded, evolved version of QHHT. And it was like a light bulb went off, and you can, sometimes I literally hear the spirit guides and the angels clapping, and it's kind of like, yay, she got it. That's kind of the energy I felt. So that's when I realized that aura is QHHT and assistance from the higher dimensional beings and archangels together. And I also enjoy this particular healing modality as I feel it empowers your client. For one, they get to sense or feel how it feels when pure source love in their higher self is flowing through them. And they receive the information guided and by their higher selves. So in this particular modality, they are receiving guidance, energy, healing, everything from their higher selves. I'm assisting, but it's still the higher self guiding it. And I think I prefer that method because what the multiverse, what the intergalactics, what the galactic councils are in the process of doing is training us to be able to communicate, to be able to discern, to be able to heal ourselves. This is all about empowerment and mastery. As you move up in the higher dimensions, you manifest a lot faster. Your thoughts are instantaneous. You could change the scene of whatever you've manifested. You could change in and out of scenes pretty quickly. And so they want you to be masters of your thoughts. The average one of us, the majority of us, are not masters of our thoughts. If you just take the time to think about it, you're not. We're not. I'm still working on it a whole lot better. But you really, really, really want to master your thoughts. This is how you're going to progress. You want to clear yourself. You want to heal yourself. You want to activate your DNA. You want to clear your karma. What is it? What's been going on every lifetime that you've incarnated? Some of us have incarnated more than others. Some of us have maintained, usually, the higher aspects or spirit guides or galactic teachers and elders and things like that. So you want to know what the karma is or focus on healing. It's like once I started getting activated, I focused so intently on healing. It was like a second job. I don't know. I just had this strong urge to heal. And it could be because as you move up because we move up and down, especially if you're angelic anyway, you incarnate up and down the different dimensions depending on where you're needed. One of the titles that I'm called is Galactic Medicine Woman. So I'm pretty sure that's probably why I just knew, heal, 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 so that you can help others. And so basically, and the other message I've been getting for the longest time is discernment. It's not about, it's okay to have assistance. However, if you are seeking assistance from a highly in tune guide or teacher, they are going to be teaching you how to hear from your own higher self. It's not about just healing you or providing you with guidance or telling you what's going to happen next week. It's not about that. It is about you tapping in. It is about, and what I love, I had a client of mine, I love this. She knew who to ask. She received a message. And she messaged me asking me about a dream. And basically she had seen that she would get in a car accident. And so I'm like, okay, that is a message. That is you call it a vision, you call it a prophecy, whatever you want to call it. But you were given that message for a reason. And it's an opportunity to do something different, to change that timeline. So it's not about, a lot of people think it's about, oh, well, let's prove that the vision was true. No, not if you don't like getting in a car accident. It's an opportunity to change it, to heal it, to do something different. And so then later on, she also had an aura session with me. So it was beautiful to receive that confirmation from her higher self directly to her that yes, this is what happened because you took the time to trust yourself and change something in that situation. It was enough to change that timeline. Because had she not changed that timeline, it could have been a very devastating outcome. So we have guides, we have assistants, but they want to empower you to understand that it is you. We are all one. They are assisting you. We give our power away all the time. And even when, we're taught to give all this glory to God like it has nothing to do with us, God is a part of you. Source is within you. It's you. So even when you pray, thank yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, and all that is, and all of Source, and your guidance, and your spirit guides, and your ascended ancestors. Like, life is about joy and love. So, some of the other messages that have been coming through is the need to clear your vessel is so important. Now, what I don't understand is how, if you are unaware that there are entities, reptilians, and interference, or you're not totally understanding it, I understand. But if you are aware and you do some sort of quantum healing, you are aware that there are entities and spirits and that we transmute them, we send them to the light, and that there's reptilians and there's consciousness and archons and all these things, implants and portals and all these things. If you're aware of this and you clear these from people's vessels and you have not thought it wise to make sure and receive direct confirmation that your vessel is clear, I don't even want to try to understand why you would not do that. It makes no sense. I'm not even going to try to justify it. To me, it's irrational and it's unresponsible. And you should actually be checking periodically to make sure you still have a clear vessel. That's what's responsible. It is very important as a healer to clear yourself, not of just dense energy, not of just clear chakras, but clear and free of entities, implants, portals, all these things. And to receive direct confirmation from your higher self. It's best to do it in a session because during a session, there are procedures in place to make sure Source is coming through you freely from ego and mind and, all these other things that interfere. So please, it's so important. So important. I got a message from Archangel Metatron as well as the Blue Avians. If you are activating your DNA, doing activations, upgrading your chakras, activating your Kundalini is a big one. And you have not cleared yourself of entities. You actually flow more energy for these entities. And then if you're activating Kundalini and things and you have reptilians present in your vessel, you strengthen them. You make them stronger. They can completely take over your vessel. And this is never at any time am I promoting fear at all. This is about awareness. If you're healing people, you need to make sure you are clear and you are free of interference. Because there's no point of that interference interacting with that individual. Because I know as a healer in your heart, you want to do the best you can do. So the majority of us that are not doing this just don't know. So this is all about awareness and spreading the message please get confirmation that you have a clear vessel, body, please. And this is not like a message directly from me, even though I do think it's important. This is from Archangel Metatron and the Blue Avians. Very important messages. Being in a clear, whole, loving heart chakra, loving yourself. The messages I get repeatedly over and over and over again is for us as a humanity to love ourselves. Us coming together as females. Like one of the other beautiful messages I got in a session was a scene where the women were braiding each other's hair. They were standing, in a group or in a line, all braiding each other's hair instead of cutting each other's hair. It's so significant, so important. Like how can we want to unite as a humanity if you can't even unite in smaller groups? It's very important to know how, to learn how, to receive guidance and to heal yourself. If you're not getting along with people, heal yourself, love others. It makes life a whole lot easier. Life can be, like humanity has experienced the worst of the worst. It is time to create and experience the highest of the high. We have a whole lot more potential, we're shown glimpses of our potential timelines pretty frequently now. We're definitely out of the traumatic timelines. There's still purging, there's still things going on. A lot of the things going on as far as like nature and the volcanoes and fires and things like that is Mother Gaia purging. As within, so without, as above, so below. Like we have to clean ourselves up. And so there will be some things we don't like, but to be honest with you, a lot of us don't really like to face and heal our shadows, or to face what those emotions or those traumas that we chose to ignore or try to bury away and pretend they did not happen. It is very important to look at it. If you are not able or equipped to heal it or deal with it at the time, well, now you're able to. If you were a child and didn't know any better and there was no one there to comfort you, well, now you're able to. You are able to comfort yourself. And so I love to assist in doing that. You're welcome to call me, as I said, or message me. I do Reiki. I do readings. I can help you make crystal water, help guide you to your twin flame, to your soul tribe group, and at the most importantly, clear your vessel. Every clear vessel raises the vibration of the planet, of the collective, of the multiverse. Like when you heal yourself, you heal like the fractal aspects of yourself that were fractaled or cut off because of trauma. You heal that back to yourself. Whatever energy that you have that's not yours, that's usually from trauma from this life or past life, you heal that and release it back to that person. If there are entities involved, interference, when you clear them, when you heal them, when you send them back to source, whatever light of yours that they were taking, they also return back to you. There's so many reasons to make healing a priority. And besides that, you release the dense energy that is holding you here, holding us stuck as a collective. And that is how we raise the vibration. It's a very, very important step to raising the vibration of the collective. So I love you. Message me anytime. I look forward to working with you. Namaste.